If you won the 1.9 billion lottery, what is the first thing you would do? Buy 1.9 billion Arizona iced teas and cure world thirst. There's a stretch of empty used car lots on a main street near my house. Lots of families live around there, but the area in general is declining and kids are getting into stupid dangerous crap. Anyway, I would buy up as much of that empty property as possible and turn it into a not-for-profit skating rink and a weekend open market and a movie theater. Order 10 large pizzas every day for a year to be delivered to my former boss. Hire a damn good lawyer and accountant. Actually, I'd probably crap bricks. Congratulate the IRS for winning a massive amount of money without even having to purchase a ticket. I have 2 brothers and about 10 really good friends. All of them would be set up with trusts that would provide them with money to never have the need to work again. Then the rest of it is going to worthwhile causes, including a huge plot of land in Montana, in which I would provide open and safe space for animals in need. I would hire people to help run that operation and they'd be paid a god-honest wage, with full benefits. Money management people. Maybe a few of them from different firms. Also, make out a will ASAP. Edit, since this has so many upvotes, someone pointed out a trust would stop courtroom fights that can happen over a will. I would legally change my name to Weather Radar, so that anyone who tried to Google me couldn't find anything relevant. Wake up from my dream and head to work. Buy shirts with very complicated patterns. Pay off my debt and quit a job that's been really hard on me for 7 years. I'd move to the mountains and live a simple, quiet life. There's a muffler shop in my city that FD'd me on a custom job about 5 years ago. I'd buy the lot next to them, charge half their rates, hire actual competent mechanics, and run the shop at a loss as long as it took to run their business into the fucking ground. I've already done some approximate math on this. I took cash value, shaved 40% for tax, no state income tax here, and assumed I'll live until 80. That gives me approximately $51,000 per day for the rest of my life, not counting interest earned. Nobody will ever hear from me again. Buy the large bag of beef jerky. Give my mom a massive chunk of it, because that woman deserves it. Call all my kids at the same time, and tell them retirement is here if they want it. Put it all on black. Quit my job. I won't even do that. Just send a lawyer to pick up my kids' pictures from my desk and maybe give each of my coworkers a gift card to a nice restaurant, hire a leading therapist, nutritionist, psychiatrist, and whatever else to sort my mental health out. Buy a DeLorean. Ever since I was a kid, a DeLorean has been my dream car. Show up to work the next day as if nothing happened, until I figure out how to manage that money. I'm working. Pay off my family's debt, finish off my mom's dream house, pay for my granddad's cancer treatment, give my poor relatives a better life, invest. In that order. Edit, since everybody is asking, my granddad is in a country with free healthcare, and has reached the maximum amount of chemotherapy. Aloud, last time I checked he was getting better. The extra treatment is if the cancer comes back. I'd give a good chunk of it to charity, but if charity wasn't dancing that night, then probably destiny. Write up a NDA for the person who I'll have to ask to drive me to Austin, Texas, to claim it, because my 20-year-old vehicle is falling apart, and won't make it that far. 2 chicks at the same time. Buy Reddit and ban anyone who posts a question in this subreddit that's been asked 10 times in the last hour. Have a mechanic fix the issue in my car that is causing the check engine light to be on. I'm in the process of a divorce, been separated for more than a year. I would still give my ex half. There's no way I could spend all that. I'll tell her not to tell anyone else, and we'll each buy a house in the same neighborhood, so our kid can ride his bike between our 2 houses. I'll propose a true 50-50 custody, and my kid will have the best vacations every summer and school break. I'll actually retire and spend time improving my hobby skills. Texas allows lottery winners to maintain anonymity. I'm not saying a freaking word, I'm going to put it. Places like a credit union, or somewhere I can get interest payments. Definitely somewhere separate from my main account. I'll leave myself like $1,000 or $2,000 in my personal account, and if people ask, I'll say I won a small prize. I'm sure I'm missing many things, but honestly I'm not sure I'd ever play the lottery, knowing what typically happens to the winners. I'd go collect my check. Pay the stupid taxes, I guess. Put in my 2-week notice, and then schedule 2 weeks of emergency vacation. Pay $1 billion in taxes? I know I still have 900 million left, but still, $1 billion. Pay off my credit card debt. I had a mental episode and ran up my credit cards $3K. It's been killing me for months. Definitely pay that off first, or buy myself clothes to go outside to a nice place to eat, stress-free, and act like I belong there for an hour. It sounds like that would be a surreal experience. Legit pay off all my debts instantly, then cry because my financial stress would be gone. All responsible decisions aside, I get my teeth fixed ASAP. It's starting to affect my vision, and that concerns me. 1. Lawyer up, big time. Accountant would be hired as well. 2. I'd make sure to set up trust funds for my kids, for boys, and 3 grandkids. 3. Purchase any vehicles that we need. 4. Purchase and develop a 20-acre plot, main house, for satellite houses, all 4BR/4BA, build a workout center, a garden ploy, animal housing, and a harvesting shop, solar power, wind power, and water catchment/filtration systems. 5. Take care of my wife's parents only, no other family handouts. 6. Invest a good amount for future returns. I mean, if we are being realistic, like probably the first thing I would do after finding out is like plan a nice meal somewhere to celebrate with my husband. Give a nice portion to mom, she needs a break. 1. Put $5 million away for my son too. Invest a good chunk so my grandkids and great-grandchildren won't ever have to worry about anything. 3. Move back to the Philippines and build a resort, then pay my employees more than enough to have happy lives. Same thing I'd do with any significant lottery win, except, TBH, with $1 billion, I'd probably never even see the benefit of most of my plan. The plan has always been, 25% of the win is flash money. That's the money I used to do up the house, buy that thing I've always wanted, take a celebratory holiday, pay down people's student loans, buy my father a house, donate to worthy causes, etc., etc. 10% goes into a savings account, never ever to be touched. To the remaining 65% goes into a relatively low-risk investment portfolio. On good years, I live off the drawdown and save whatever is left of said drawdown in a separate account to the one the 10% is in. Once I reach 3 to 5 years of my living expenses in that account, I stop saving and donate any excess, or funnel it back into the investment account. In bad years, I live off of that savings account, leaving my initial investment free to recover and refill the savings account when the economy picks up again. However, with a win of nearly $2 billion, I would never need to live off the investments. The flash money alone would be the equivalent of its own huge lottery win. 500 mil? I would have to actively work to manage to spend that amount of money. Even my idea of an extravagant lifestyle doesn't extend to one in which I could spend that amount of money in my lifetime. The toys of billionaires hold zero interest for me. Why would I want a massive yacht? I don't live near the sea. Luxury cars hold no interest for me. I might buy a few properties around the world, but I don't need mansions worth 100 million. I'm not suddenly gonna treat A5 Wagyu like it's a packet of mints. Very little about my lifestyle would change, except that I would no longer have to worry about the bit in the middle of wanting the thing and purchasing the thing. I'd be very tempted to downplay the size of the win massively, and then just palm off $1 million or $2 million to everyone in my close family/friendship group. Set up trust funds for the nephews. Stuff like that, then act like I had just enough left to fund me never having to work again if I lived sensibly. Since my lifestyle wouldn't change drastically, I genuinely might be able to pull that off. So, yeah, the first thing I'd do is allocate 500 million as flash money and find something to buy. Give my parents 100 mil each. I feel they've done a lot for me and my brother and deserve to live the rest of their life doing what they want. Then I'm gonna drink lemonade at the top of a penthouse in Miami. Wait a week or two and buy Twitter. Not tell a damn soul, and continue on as usual for a few weeks. Then put in my notice at work, buy the dream property, which is really quite modest, a few acres outside of town, house around 2,500 square feet with a shop, have the property renovated to what we would want, and when all done, send my husband out on a big errand and have our stuff moved by professionals while he's out, and tell him to meet me at the surprise address, with his dream truck waiting in the shop, totally broke down 1960s Ford waiting for him to fix up himself, with all his dream tools. I love big surprises. Invest all of it. Never tell anyone. Every once in a while, I'll have some fancy new expensive thing. Someone will ask how, and I'll casually tell everyone I do alright in the market. I'll give them investment tips having no clue what I'm talking about. While the bull market is very bearish, so I always split the shorts with dividends. They will ignore my advice. I will keep my job for 20 more years, retire at a decent age, and then throw the most craziest expensive retirement party. I'm talking celebrity guest singers, expensive foods and drinks, rent a huge venue and have tons of events, tons of door prizes, any crazy thing you can think I will have there, and everything would be free for my retirement party. People will be like, how did you do this? And I'll say invested wisely, and they should have listened to me. After all of the getting a good lawyer and stuff, I would take care of my parents and my brother. My sister is a terrible person, and wouldn't get so much as a penny. I would then take care of my mother-in-law, brother-in-law, and my sister-in-law and nephew. I would also give a smaller amount of money to my other 3 nephews, then sit back and not worry about a goddamn thing for the rest of my life. In no particular order: quit my job, ask my trans friend how much the surgery she wants costs, and tell her to book the appointments, tell my mother to start looking for the house she wants, as well as give her money for the surgery she needs, to not have to hobble all over the place, and give her enough money to never have to work at Walmart again. Set aside a bunch of money so my nephews can go to college when they graduate high school, donate a shitton of money to Planned Parenthood, NASA, and various other charities. Follow or subscribe and comment your own answers.